Welcome to the Nick and Nick podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Royalty Roofing and Siding. Crown your home and your commercial property with Royalty. Today we have an awesome guest in the studio with us. Looking forward to introducing to you Jason Armstrong. Jason Armstrong from DPS. Is it DPS Construction or DPS Concrete?
Construction.
Construction. Yeah. Now, it started as DPS. It's still DPS.
Correct.
The reason why I say that is because DPS stands for driveways, patios, and sidewalks.
Correct.
But now you're doing way more than driveways, patios, and sidewalks. That's where you started, but now you're doing what? More streets, parking lots, and foundations?
Yeah, I mean, flat work side, we're doing every part of it, so still do some of the residential, so all your basements and your driveways and your steps and your stoops and your sidewalks and patios and all that stuff. And then commercially, whether it's a building slab or a parking lot with curb and gutter, any of that stuff, we are into doing foundations, so we're doing footings and foundations as well. We've done some data centers over the years, street work,
Data center would be the flat foundation. Is that what you call flat work?
That'd be flat work, we were doing street pavement.
Okay.
And on one of the data centers we just finished up here, that was a 2-year project. But yeah, I mean, commercial, residential, industrial, new construction, replacement, pool decks. We work with a bunch of pool builders, still work with some home builders. A lot of property management companies doing tear out and replace work. So besides our regular just concrete stuff, our heavy equipment side with all the trucking and excavation equipment, we're doing a lot of dirt work and obviously the hauling and all that stuff that you know about that we've done over the years. The trucking end's grown over the years.
Well, yeah, but you've come a long way. Since I met you, I don't know if you remember this or not, we lived in Avalon.
I do.
Which is the Hearthstone neighborhood. Yes, but it didn't start with the volleyball court. It started with the basketball court in the front yard. You extended, where you were doing the house, you were doing a driveway a couple of doors down.
Yep.
We had a basketball court in our driveway, and I was like, what is it going to take to extend our driveway so that we can have a bigger basketball court?
So interestingly enough, I think the way we might have met on that, I had a friend that's been also kind of a mentor to me and a good friend and mentor over the years in business. I don't know if he realized he was a mentor to me at the time, but I mean, he really had been. He had the contract with Hearthstone Homes doing all their concrete work. Well, as a part of that, they did warranty work. So he would subcontract that to us, so we would go out and do the tear out and replace work. So we'd get a punch list of all these addresses, and you got to replace 2 driveway panels at this house, so many sidewalk panels at this house, whatever it would be, patio panels. Yes. And we were in that neighborhood working, and I believe that's probably where we met.
Yes.
When we were there working anyways, doing stuff.
Yes. So it was the same day. I don't know. You rolled up. I said, "Can you come look at our basketball court?" And that same day, you sent some guys down, and they had it dug up, and I think it was even poured on the same day. So from that point, that's where our initial meeting was. And then from there, you went to putting in a volleyball court in our backyard. Yeah. And then I think we did some other some commercial projects after that. I don't remember if you
did.
Yes.
We ended up going to the church over there and doing some stuff over there.
Yep. But that was my first introduction with you, was on the driveways and patios and sidewalks. My whole point in bringing that up was you're much more than that now. You're this massive conglomerate of, and not only do you do concrete work, you also do a campground.
We got a campground and marina north of Blair at Riverview Park. We got that going. And then we've done some development of industrial parks. So we've kind of I wear a lot of hats, right?
Yes.
So from where we started to where we're at,
That's kind of what we're into now is entrepreneurs. And I'm assuming there's entrepreneurs in your family, or where did this come from?
No, not really. Not at all.
So you're the first generation?
Yeah, for sure. So when we started that thing up, my uncle was a truck driver, and so my dad and my uncle did like side jobs, patio.
What was your uncle's name? I remember him.
Kerry.
Yes.
Yep. So I would go out when I was like in high school, and I'd go out with my dad and my uncle on the weekends and nights, and we'd build little retaining walls and replace people's little patios and stuff like that, and then it kind of grew in. We never really took any money, saved kind of the money, and would buy some equipment as we went. So we all had full-time jobs, and we'd do this on the side to make
Who was that? You, your uncle, and who?
My dad.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you said, because I did some research on your company, you said you're coming up on 20 years?
We're over 20 now.
Over 20, family ran, family owned.
So when we were doing it on the side, we kind of did all that stuff, never really took any of the money. We just saved it and bought equipment with it. And then my uncle ended up buying in with a guy named Jimmy, and that had a dump truck and a skid loader and some stuff. And he actually subcontracted out from Scott I was telling you about earlier that
from
did
Hearthstone.
the Hearthstone. Yep. And he would go do them tear outs all the time. And he didn't pour any concrete though. He would just go do tear outs for him. So my uncle bought half that equipment off of him. And let's see, from there, for a couple years there, we were able to do more things like driveway replacements instead of patio replacements. Yeah, instead of
Little
just
bigger,
wheelbarrows,
little
right?
bigger, little by little.
Sorry, my phone's ringing there. Yeah, so we'd do more there. And then same thing, I would just go labor with them and did that for a couple years. And then Jimmy ended up getting out and then I ended up buying that equipment. So then me and Carrie started DPS.
Okay.
And that would have been in 04.
Okay.
So me and Carrie were partners on DPS starting in 04. And
is he still with you?
We still work together every day. We're not partners anymore. So in 05 in the spring, I ended up quitting my full-time job that I had and went full-time. And then in the fall, Kerry kept his job he had. And then in the fall, I ended up negotiating to buy him out. So then my wife became, and she still is majority owner of DPS, right? So
Tina's majority owner.
Yep.
So you, okay.
absolutely, yeah. Tina actually owns it. She just lets me work here.
Thanks, Tina.
Yeah. And obviously, so our history, Nick knows Tina and me and all of us for your previous business as well.
And somehow we're related in some form. I seen you at a funeral.
Correct, yeah. The Prososki side,
yes.
right? So my Aunt Connie married Chuck Prososki.
Yes, which is my uncle.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So did you grow up in South O?
Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
Omaha South.
Okay, that explains it.
Born and raised in Omaha.
So I'm a South Omaha boy too, so maybe that's what, other than being family, we're also
Hit it
both
off.
from South O, so that's what it's about.
Can relate to some things for sure. So anyhow, 05, I went full-time in the spring, and then by the fall, I negotiated buying Carrie out of that. So we weren't business partners at that point. So right now, it's me and Tina, right,
Okay.
that own that. So, and then, yeah, it grew. We got into needing some dump trucks. So we started off, as we started with one dump truck and then added them. And then my grandpa was retired. He was an over-the-road truck driver. And we got him, he was just kind of hanging out with us every day. And I'd stay with the guys pouring concrete, and he'd go haul a load here and there and go grab us lunch, and he'd just kind of hang out. Well, and he's like, "Why is that truck sitting there?" And I'm like, "Well, Grandpa, we're pouring concrete." He's like, "That truck's got to go to work." So my retired grandpa pretty soon has a few. I would keep buying dump trucks, and he keeps
he
getting
still
them running.
working?
So he passed away.
He did?
Yep, he passed away. He worked up. I mean, he stayed with me and worked.
I think that
his
was
retirement.
recently. Was it a year or two ago?
Yeah.
I remember that.
We're going on January will be 2 years.
Okay.
So we're over a year.
So when you say family owned and family operated, you mean family owned and family operated?
Oh, for sure.
Because I just had an experience with somebody at the gym that said, "I'll never work with my family. We won't do business together." I'm like, why not?
I totally disagree.
Me too.
I mean, who are you going to have that really loves you
Right.
and cares about you? I mean, even that being said, some of the people that work with us, I mean, we have 3 people that have been with us since that 05 season. There's 3 people. It's their 20th. They had their 20th anniversary this year. So, I mean, even, besides our blood family, I mean, there's people there. We're family.
Right.
I mean, we really are.
They're not just showing up to work.
No, they really care about this place just like we do,
And those are hard to find.
Oh, you're blessed if you can get one, let alone a few of them. We've been really blessed. But we got a great group of people, We're really, really blessed in that regard.
So when you say a group of people, are we talking 10, 20, 50?
It varies up and down through the season as it goes, but typically between the concrete side and the trucking side and then the campground.
2 different, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're different companies, right?
Okay.
So you got a trucking company and then you got the concrete company.
So what's the name of the trucking company?
JJJT.
Okay, then we got DPS.
Yep, that handles the concrete and the snow removal and your excavation heavy equipment trucking.
And then we got the campground.
Got the campground's a totally separate deal. That's Tina's as well. So yeah.
You're just along for the ride, huh?
Yeah.
Getting drug around by your nose. Is there any other businesses that we need to know about?
So we do some property development. I do that in a company we have called Armstrong Investments.
What does that mean?
So we took some property, there was
Residential or commercial?
no industrial.
Okay.
All right. So we took, I don't know, 2016, 17, somewhere in there. There was a building for sale outside of Council Bluffs in Pottawatomie County that had 32 acres there and a building. The building sat on, it's a 15,000 square foot building, like 10,000 square foot of shop and 5,000 square foot of office. And that was fenced off in gravel parking lot in for about 4 acres, and the rest was farm ground.
Okay.
So we went through the subdivision process, dozed off the topsoil, imported dirt for a surcharge pile, took it back down, got the street pavement done and the power installed and the water lines and the gas lines and all the infrastructure, data and everything. Ended up making 14 lots over there and then building industrial buildings. And
Like metal buildings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
big garage doors and that kind of thing?
You got it. Yes.
Okay.
Thereabouts 20,000 square foot buildings, roughly, approximately, is the ballpark of what we're building.
So they're each 20,000 or 20,000 total?
Each, yeah.
How many buildings are there?
Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on construction. Well, the 8th one is, so we're constructing the 9th one right now.
So who's managing that business? You? Who's managing DPS?
Oh, we got a lot of people.
You got
at
people?
DPS. Yeah.
Okay.
DPS is the oldest business, so it's got a lot of systems. It's got all the systems and infrastructure in place, and a lot of investment for a lot of years. So there's a lot of layers of management at DPS.
Oh, good. So, it sounds easy what you've done and what you're doing, but I mean, it's not. There's a lot that goes into turning nothing into something and then scaling that and then handing it off for somebody to manage and hope they do a good job. And to do that in a few different arenas, I'm sure you're learning a lot.
Every day, hopefully. Hopefully you're learning.
I'm interested in, what's some of your business philosophy / core values / principles that help govern you. You got a lot going on. One business is a lot. One employee is a lot to manage. How do you manage this? How do you balance all this? And
for me, everything I do, Nick, I try to, if I'm going to get involved in something, I try to dig into it as much as I can, create it how I would want it to run systematically, right?
without you or with you?
With me. Like I get in there and I do it, whatever it is. I get it running how I want it to run. So everything we've talked about, I've never sold a business and I've never bought a business. I've only done startups, right?
Yes.
So interestingly enough, if you look at most small businesses, right, most of them fell in the first year.
Sure.
Whatever's left, the majority of those fell in the first 5 years, right? So by the time you get to year 5, it's something like 80-something% of those are gone.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, it's a really high percentage. You can look up that exact number, but it is a really high percentage that's gone. So the part I do is probably the opposite of most people's way of thinking, but it's how I'm wired, right? So I think most people that, if they go to school and they want to start a business, they want that system in place and somebody, and they just come in and manage the system that is already established. So the typical thing would be buy into a franchise, right?
Yes.
So if you go get a small business loan, SBA loan or something, and you buy this franchise, and whatever that ends up doing, right? I think that's most people's normal path on it, probably, if they're going to do it.
What's yours?
I create it from nothing, right? So
yes, that's hard to do.
but that's the only way I've done it,
Yes.
right? So you would think the natural thing there, if with that mindset, would be to grow it, franchise it, do something. I haven't done that, right? So I've started these businesses, small businesses, and as they have each grown, if you notice on them, they're all divisional, right? Like, so with DPS, they do the snow removal, they do the excavation, and they do the concrete work, and all these different things they do, but each one of those things don't have 100 people working in it, right? So
there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah, tons of crossover, and I don't know, and I've said this for years, I don't know how big of a business I'm wired to run, right? Like, I don't know that I'm the guy that's going to run 1,000 employees, right? But I can get a system and I can get it going good and manage it the way I want to manage it.
To a certain level.
To a certain level.
Yes.
So because the tough part for me is like the customer service side of it. I want to be able to sit down with somebody.
Yes.
And here's my phone number, and if you have a problem, I'm going to answer it. So when I meet you on the front side and I talk to you, and I try to explain everything, what to expect with that product, right? When that product has a problem, I'm going to answer the phone when you call, right?
And that's what happened when I called you last week to be on the podcast. I wasn't expecting you to answer the phone.
I'm going to answer the phone, right? So now the tricky part with that, growing a company, because right now we have salesmen out there, right? Besides just me representing us. And we have different types of salesmen. So we got commercial takeoff estimators. We have salesmen that'll answer, and those get routed different ways depending on how the lead comes in. So those commercial takeoff estimators, they're typically not like reaching out to a customer, or a customer's not, it's mostly like plan room type stuff.
Inbound,
bids, yeah. And you're bidding it off of prints.
Yes.
Versus our salesman, and this is how I describe it, whether this is reality or not. So our salesman, whether it's an email lead coming through or a phone call lead coming through or a referral, whatever, they're going to go out and meet that person, shake their hands. There's usually not a print, right? So it's like if somebody wants that patio or somebody wants that driveway replaced, or, you know, somebody owns a business and they need some parking lot replaced, or if they're building a building and they don't have a GC hired and they reach out to us direct, that salesman is going to show up there and they're going to talk to that person. What I noticed over the years with me, and that's the problem with wearing too many hats, is I've answered so many questions so many times, you would almost get short with it.
The same question?
The same question.
Same thing with me. And we would come across as we're direct, but we're kind of abrasive and shrewd. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I don't mean to be that way, but when you answer that, I could almost know the question coming out of the customer's mouth before they answered it, or before they asked it, right? I know what it, I've seen, you know. So there's things there, and I would notice myself, I would almost talk us out of work instead of talking people into hiring us. Like, people want to be sold, right? When they show up, people want to have fun and be happy. And, you know, concrete inherently has problems. Concrete cracks, and everybody knows concrete gets hard and it's cracked until it's theirs.
Right.
You know, and then it's like, so I would go over people, you know, with people, I'm like, all right, I just want to educate you on it, right? Okay, I don't care how thick your concrete is or what reinforcements in there. I don't care how big or small your driveway is. I just want you to understand what you're paying for, right? To get within your budget, you know, and get what you want to get. I just I want to explain everything to you and give you every single option and pick whatever you want to pick, right? So if you want a 4-inch thick driveway versus a 6 or an 8, they're going to perform differently, right? They're going to crack differently. They're going to, and you can put all the rebar in the world and it doesn't stop rebar or concrete from cracking. Concrete's going to crack, right? And what does that crack mean and how do you repair it? Well, what those people, it doesn't come across good sales-wise, right? It's not fun. It doesn't sound fun. But at the end of the day, I try to explain to people, I'm like, well, when you pick up the phone and have a problem, I'm going to be able to say, yeah, we discussed this, right? And if it's not performing to what we said it would, right? I can go out there and say, cool, I'm on my way. Let me take that. Yeah, we'll go get it handled, right? That's not doing what it's supposed to do. We go out, no questions asked. We're going to get the schedule and we're going to get it handled, right? But if that is a normal characteristic of it, right? And everything, whether it's asphalt or shingles or gutters or siding or doors, they all have characteristics of what they do. You know, the tricky part with concrete is it's not manufactured in a plant, right? So most materials, building trades, are manufactured in a plant under controlled conditions, and then they're installed, right?
Like James Hardy cement, fiber siding.
Right? All these things, whether it's the light or the gutter or the siding or the shingle or, I mean, everything around here. The flooring, right? So then our product is the structural product and the finished product, and it's a perishable product, and it's installed under imperfect conditions, right? And you can do some cool stuff with it, right? But they've changed the concrete over the years. They've changed the cement over the years, right? So now they're putting limestone, like ground down limestone in it as a filler and reducing the Portland content. And they're calling that like a green deal, right? Which sounds cool.
I didn't even think about the green stuff.
Right? So that sounds cool, right? Except for they keep raising the price. The product is inferior. It just is. It's not as good as
So as the price goes up, the product quality goes down.
100%.
Wow.
And I compare it to, you know, it's business, right? So I compare it to like a refrigerator. Or an air conditioner. Everybody would know 50 or 60 years ago, yeah, that refrigerator's going to last 50 years. And they still will. Right? Or, I mean, they won't now. They did previously. They'd last. Now they're cheaper to produce. They're disposable. They're throwaway. And it's sold as well, but it's more green because it has a different refrigerant or something like that. Well, if you look at the reality of it, right? So I'm a realist, right? If you look at the reality of that, you're mining more materials, you're putting more things in the landfill. That thing has to come over and be trucked over or shipped over on a ship back and forth. It has to sit in a store that has air conditioning or heat or utilities or taxes paid on that ground. And you're filling the landfill, and then you're going to take whatever coolant's in that thing, you're throwing that thing in the landfill and getting more coolant. So a lot of these things to me that are sold as green aren't really, like the net green, it's just like death on a diesel truck. You're like, come on, give me a break. By the time you put all the instructors in and transport that, if you're trying to reduce carbon, you're not really doing it. But if it passes as a law, you know, that's where you're at with it. I can't control it. I don't get to pick it. So we have products that, unfortunately, on our end, you know, as a tradesman, the customer isn't buying that concrete from the ready-mix supplier, and they're not buying it from the Portland mining manufacturer. They're buying it from Jason, right? And maybe DPS, whoever's showing up, right? Just like your siding or roofing salesman, they build a relationship with that person, right? And they're whether they buy it they're going to look at that person, Jason.
Right.
Why is my concrete cracked, right?
Right.
And that's a tough one. That's the tough business we're in, you know. So I try to explain that all on the front side. It's like, hey, here's what we're dealing with, and it does. And again, so those guys come in, the salesmen come in, and they do their job of selling it, and they have to do those things, but they got a lot more time to explain it. So I know we talked in a huge circle here, but how did we grow those things? How did we get where we were at? It was slowly. So I tried with all circling way back, my business model, I'll try to get involved with whatever we're starting, get it running the way I run it, try to understand it, learn it, do the best I can with it, and then try to bring somebody in and teach them what I'm doing, right? And then once I get people taught to do what I'm doing, then
Hold on, you just made that sound really easy.
I go do the next thing again.
You made that sound really easy. Go find somebody to manage what I just created. How successful have you been at finding somebody to manage something that to your expectations that you've created? That is not easy to do. You just bumped over it.
We're in good shape right now. But over the years, it's not, at the end of the day, you want to give somebody the opportunity to find the right person. And things change over the years one way or another. They just do. People's life situations change. Sometimes it's a great job for them now and their life situations change and maybe they go learn something different and it's not later. Some people, it's a good fit for everything, keep growing with you. We've had some bumps and really tough ones. We've had some people that, you can imagine that.
Some pain,
on paper, they were the right person. They talk to you, feel like the right person, and then their actions don't match their words.
Right.
And you got to do some, and I try to tell everybody, I don't mind being a leader. I love being a leader. I don't want to be a boss. Please don't make me be a boss, right? Like if I have to manage when you clock in and when you clock out.
Isn't that what her plates, her license plates say that, or is that yours?
Tina's.
Yeah, is it yours or hers?
Tina's
DPS
the boss. Yeah, Tina say DPS boss.
What does yours say? DPS?
Laborer.
Okay, so with all that being said, some of your core business philosophies are customer service, obviously, number one. We know that patients, clients, customers, whether you're in concrete or chiropractic or roofing, they don't like surprises. So if we're able to articulate and communicate on the front end, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, what may happen, hopefully we can limit the pain associated with if something does go wrong. So that's customer service based. What are some other key business philosophies?
Nick, I don't know. I don't know. I just, at the end of the day, I want to be a good person and try to do the right thing.
What that means to me, Jason, is treat other people, no matter who it is, how you prefer, how you want to be treated.
Yeah. Try to be
that's
fair,
a philosophy.
honest.
That's a principle. Yes.
That's what it is. Try to be a good person at the end of the day. With everything we've done, it's a little different. When you're starting off and you're trying, I started so young, Nick, so incredibly young. And thank God I did. I don't know. We came from absolutely nothing, right? So,
what do you mean by that?
Like, I don't have a family background in business, right?
Yes.
I didn't have this mentor teacher. My Uncle Kerry started, I started with him doing that,
right.
But he don't have any background. He was starting up at the same time I was starting up. Like, we did that together.
Right.
So he had all the drive and motivation, and he still pushes me harder than anybody. Like, as I get a million people patting me on the back oh, great job, look what you're doing. Kerry's the one that's kicking me in the ass every day. We can do more. We got to do better. And everybody needs that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've never learned anything from doing something right. I only learned from doing something wrong, right? So he is always the one, for me, that he ain't patting me on the back. He's the one kicking me in the ass.
We all need a Kerry in our life, no matter at what level we're operating. If we're going to reach the next level, I think Michael Jordan had how many coaches?
Oh, yeah.
He was the best player on the planet and had a number of coaches that all they were doing is critiquing, this micro percentage of what he was actually doing wrong. And that's how we scale not only our business, but our lives.
But I don't think if you're going to be successful in any way in life, you got to be coachable. If you can't be coachable, right? I don't think many people are going to want to work with you, right? That's it. And that's probably one of the things that I notice with people that get in the way the most is probably pride and ego, right? Like if people don't want to be told they're doing something wrong, you're not going to get better, right? So like for me, if I want to get better, you can't tell me how good. You got to tell me what I'm doing wrong, right? I don't care how much I did right. You got to tell me the parts. I already know what to do right. You got to tell me what I did wrong or not up, or what could be better. Maybe words are wrong. Maybe it's not wrong. What could I be better at?
That's unique to people that are operating at your level, though, that are looking for that critique, because not everybody can handle a negative, what appears to be a negative, but is actually a positive, critique or comment. So at this level, you're looking for anything that can make you 1% better than the competition.
100%.
And I can't always figure that out myself. I need an outside in,
And And
source.
so even internally, so as you get multiple concrete crews, right, and you got to move guys around and stuff like that, or truck driver, any one of our positions, and you got to move guys around here because we work in teams, right? Like it's not one person pouring concrete.
Right.
It takes a group, right?
Yes.
So they have to work together. And I always try to tell them guys, I'm like, guys, as we switch around and we should be competing against the competition, not each other. Does that make sense? Don't beat each other down, build each other up.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing to keep. That is one of the tougher things to do internally, is to keep that morale and that. And I don't understand why that is. I've never quite understood that. But it seems like when you mix groups together and they work together, you think they'd be happy to get the help from somebody. Like, cool, we got some help. And somehow or another, it turns into you do that. And I've never understood that. I'm like, can we focus that effort into beating our competition instead of beating down each other?
Right.
We should be building each other up and loving on each other and helping each other and wanting to take care of each other, and build a team that can't be competed against, right? That would be your goal. Now, it's easy for me to say that, but to get everyday people to think that way when I'm not, because I can only be in one place at a time, right? So I feel like when I'm around whatever group I'm around at the moment, and I believe, and this is a weird deal probably, so I think most people don't want the boss around. Like,
Yes.
I feel like our guys love it when I'm around.
Okay.
I really do, because I feel like it's teamwork, it's camaraderie. I'm not never beating them guys. I'm trying to build them up, right?
Yeah.
Let's roll, let's be productive, let's do a good job, and I feel like maybe some of that is when I show up, it probably takes a little pressure off from somebody else making a decision, because I'm not scared to make a decision, right? Like whatever it is, let's go.
Right.
It's tough. Being a decisive decision maker it's a learned thing, right? Like
Being not afraid to play.
make decisions really
make a
fast.
mistake.
And learn from it and not be scared to be wrong. Like, you don't want to be wrong.
Right.
But the faster I learn I'm wrong, the sooner I can be right.
Right.
So just the actual pace we go at, a lot of times compared to, say, I don't know if the competition is the right word, but compared to others, if we just keep moving faster than others, sometimes we'll be more successful, because everybody's going to go through the mistakes and learning curves. We're just going to get through them faster.
Right. As long as we stay together.
Yeah.
And don't get butt hurt when we get criticized, and I'm speaking to myself as well. Just keep moving the ball forward. I know you guys are big Chiefs fans.
Oh yeah, I was at the game Monday night.
Yeah, I've seen that. You look at Patrick Mahomes. He ain't afraid to make a mistake.
He ain't afraid to be coached.
He ain't afraid to be coached.
Right.
That's right.
Not at all.
That's the best quarterback on the planet, and he's just trying to get 1% better
He
than
wants
anybody.
that coach to coach him.
Yes.
Right? He don't want to be, hey, I'm the big head, I'm the eagle. He's like, coach me. And I think Jordan was that way, right? So,
Absolutely.
but I don't know that everybody's that way. In fact, I know everybody's not that way.
Right. And to be honest with you, chiropractically, I retired a couple months ago. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I was having a hard time finding the right person. So when somebody shows up and they're teachable, they're coachable, they're humble, I don't really want to change a thing. Why would I try to reinvent the wheel? Why would I fix something that's not broken? I'll just take the reins and just do what you've been doing.
So can you tell, I don't know the details. I know you're kind of out. I don't know none of the details. I don't know if you can share them here or not, but just in general. So like when we met, you were doing the chiropractic thing, and my family all went to you for chiropractic work, and I did when I went as well. But transitioning from that into what you're into now, did you sell that business?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Found the right guy. I've been wanting to do it for quite some time. I even actually tried to do it 10 years ago or so, or 5, 8, 10. I don't remember how long it's been, but didn't find the right guy. Then I found the right guy, and we actually sold the business. He took the business over, and now I'm moving into, marketing.
And not to cut you short, but can you explain to me when you say sold that business again? I haven't sold a business, right?
Are you looking to?
I don't know. But just in general, like as businesses grow, whether you're going to build a franchise and whatever you're going to do with them, I have not had that, and I've never tried to. So I'm curious, like what that looks like. Are you selling that to that person and you're financing, or are they coming in and paying you, or are they getting an SBA loan and buying your business from you? Are you selling out over time? And
because we own the business outright, we can set up whatever structure we want. My main objective, we can figure that on the back end. My main objective was, I'm handing off my baby to you. This is my baby. I put just like you with DPS, I got 25 years of blood, sweat, tears, money, strife, stress, drama, trauma, and I'm handing them off to you. More important, we can figure all that other stuff out later. I want to make sure I got the right guy, because I love these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm invested in these people. All these patients they trust us, and I'm handing them to you. So more important, we can figure that out.
Sure.
The main thing is me finding the right person to hand the baby off to. Then you covered it. Are they coachable? Are they teachable? Do they keep their word? Do they actually care about the people more than they care about making money? Do they, you know what I mean? So it's about finding the right person. We can figure out the how. I need the who. You know what I mean? So whatever business it is, yours would be different, or other businesses are different. But for me, it was about finding the right fit.
And you think you found that this time?
Yes, and figuring the rest out later.
Okay.
Because I love these people. I care for them. And I want whoever we're putting in the driver's seat to care for them as much as I did, if not more.
Right.
And then not only that, not only just to take what we gave you, but actually scale it and grow it and maximize this.
You want it to be successful.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't do that thing to see it shut down. You should
Absolutely, and because we're invested in this thing in the long run. As you do well, we do well.
So is that person you found, are they younger? Or
Yes.
older? Okay.
Yep.
Had they worked somewhere else doing
Yes,
chiropractic?
so they worked in a different office, and they learned, I want to do this, but I don't want to do that. I enjoy doing this, I don't enjoy doing that. And so they took his experience, followed me around for 2 months, and we did it together. So it's, what is it? I watch you, and then we do it together, and then you watch me. Or no, you watch me do it, then we do it together, then I watch you do it. Right? And then we cut the cord. We did that for 8 weeks. You watch me do it, then we'll do it together, and then I watch you do it, and then this is yours. So that's what's worked for us.
But he was experienced, or she?
Yes. Not necessarily in all the business stuff, but in caring for patients.
They had that, the trade part of it.
Yes.
Maybe not the business part, but the trades part of it. They had
So for me, the fit was important in terms of that. We can figure out all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And we have.
Yeah.
And we can get creative on that too, because we're in a good place. So let's just get creative. Whatever, because I got the right guy, I'm willing to invest or to get creative on the other side of it to figure out a way to, make this work. And we'll find out,
Yeah, you will.
How it works out. But I haven't done it before either.
So kind of the cool part with mine, the age I'm at and the age I started at, typically most of the people that came to work with us were older than me, not younger than me.
Yeah.
So when you look at that.
How old were you?
When I started?
Yes.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You were a
when we
kid.
started,
Yes.
right? Like, maybe
school.
16,
Yeah.
right? 15, 16 years old, started laboring. But as we built up and we created the company, right?
Yeah.
I was 21, and we'd been going and buying equipment. We didn't really have a company, right? We were just doing little patios for
Right.
people and buying equipment. But we started the company, and again, I didn't have anybody in my family that had that history. So to learn that and how to create a company and do those things, it was all learned, right? It was all new. So did that stuff and go over the years. It's a neat thing to see it grow over the years.
So let me ask you this. Do you have college education?
So I went to Metro Community College, and I took so I enrolled in a business management program, right?
Okay.
And I didn't want any student loans or anything. So I took all the classes for business, but I never got the degree where I didn't finish taking the English and the math. I was always really good at math.
Right.
Math was my go-to, and it still is. But I took, and I paid for as I went. I didn't take a lot. I took a couple classes a semester or something like that. But I took all the classes for business management and never got the degree there.
Right. How relevant is that? Because I got 2 kids that I sent through UNO or sent through college. They both have general. I don't even know what kind of degree they have, but they both work here as project managers. They don't use any of the school. They both played college baseball at UNO, but I mean, they didn't use any. They're not using anything that they learned in college. I was just interested to see if you had any college background, and would you recommend that for somebody or not? And if so, would it be business? Would it be project managing? Would it be construction management or not?
So that's a lot of questions.
Let me. You get the
you want
gist
my
of them,
perspective
right?
on it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, when I was fresh out of high school and I was working in a company called Eagle Global Logistics, and I was working on the dock moving freight, then I ended up doing like running some of the dispatch and stuff like that later after I'd been there a couple of years. But the manager at that terminal, I sat down with him one day, and he had a degree from Ohio State, and his name is Brian. And I sat down and talked to him one day. I'm like, hey, I don't want to take on a bunch of debt. I'm trying to figure out what I would do, maybe get some education, because at that point, that was kind of the corporate world. In order to move to certain positions, you had to have degrees, right? Like that was the only way. So I'm like, hey, if I go do this thing, just opinion, what do I get a degree in? Because what we're doing here, I don't know specifically like which way to go. And his advice to me, he goes, Jason, nobody cares what your degree's in.
Right.
Because what I'll tell you, nobody cares. That employer is going to see that you did something that was hard, you stuck it out, right? You stuck through it, because when you're going to college, you're not making any money, you're having to pay money. You went through it when you didn't have to, and nobody made you, and you completed a task and finished it that you didn't have to do. That's commitment that the employer is looking for. It doesn't matter what it's. I said, okay, that being said, and he told me, that being said, he goes, just go for a degree in like business management. It doesn't matter, right? He goes, because whether you're managing one thing or another, it doesn't matter, right? What you get your degree in. So I got that advice there. I would say overall, to answer another question, is it depends on the individual. What do you want to do, right? So a lot of people, will look at me and think, have you heard of like the iceberg effect, right?
Yes.
You see everything above and not below, and everybody's like, you're so lucky, this is so
They
good.
don't even know.
Yeah, and hey, I am blessed and I am lucky and I am living the life I want to live. So absolutely true in that regard. But when it snows on Christmas Day and you got to go plow snow and miss your kid's Christmas, do you have a wife that's supportive of that and understands what you're doing? And are you going to go do what you got to do, not what you want to do? Right. So lucky, I always notice the harder I work, the luckier I got. Right. So lucky when I'm signing my name on the dotted line on a huge loan to do something, and then I got to pull a ton of things together and make them happen. It's a lot of risk, right? Like, do you have the appetite for that risk or you don't? And then whatever I'm at, I mean, listen, I'm never going to be Elon Musk. I'm never going to be Warren Buffett, right? I know my mortality, right? If I'm lucky, what phase of life I've been. I always known my mortality, like been conscious of my mortality, right? I mean, what phase of life you're in and where you're at. So I live a good life for where I came from.
Yeah, you've had motorcycle accidents, haven't you?
Oh, man. Yeah, I broke my collarbone, my scapula, 4 ribs. I got another dirt bike now. Stupid. Tina's not a fan of that.
Okay.
But, the college thing, I think it just depends what you want to do, right? So I think people should really take a look at their life and figure out what they want, compare themselves to themselves and not to others, right? Not what this person's doing or that person. I mean, it's a wonderful thing if you're trying to do stuff and you can find like-minded people to bounce ideas off of and go through that with and share them experiences with, so you don't feel like you're on an island alone, going through those things, if you want to do that. But if you don't want to do that, you shouldn't. There's so much opportunity out there. I mean, the people that work with us now, it's a great living, right? Like, we do have the benefits and the better pay and the nicer equipment and nicer facilities, but that didn't happen overnight. That's happened over 20-some years, And besides those 20 years, those 5 years of doing little patios, pushing a wheelbarrow on the side, that's all the start of that thing to get where we're at now. So you got young guys coming in now, and they have every tool you could imagine available to do stuff. And I'm glad they do, right? But they never had to push that wheelbarrow, right? Like we had to do. So they don't have the same respect for that power tool like we do that have been here for 27 years. And I don't expect them to, right? That's not them. But if you got to just figure out what you want to do and what lifestyle you're comfortable with, so you can get up in the morning and smile and know which direction you're running and be happy. I don't know, unless you're going to do something, like if you want to be a chiropractor, you better get a degree in chiropractic, right?
Got it. You have to.
You can't want to do that. You have to get the degree. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be an accountant, if you want to be an architect or an engineer, there's a lot of very trade-specific things that you have to have a degree for if you want to be in that trade, and that's what you want to do for a living.
How about as it relates to an entrepreneur like yourself? Is there any value in that other than
there could be? I don't know if it's what everybody thinks it is. One of the first guys I ever worked for was a guy named Mike Constantino, and I was really lucky to get to meet that guy early. Do you know Mike?
I recognize the last name.
Yeah, he owned a company called Mariana. They did hair. Hair supply, like they did stations and products, and they would sell like hair products to the like distributors and things like that, and they would make the stations and manufacture them, stuff like that. His dad was a barber off of about 74th and Dodge.
Okay.
And he told
me, school, huh?
Yeah, old school, yeah. So his dad sent him to China in the 70s. So that barber, they would sell wigs out of there. So right out of college, young there, his dad sent him to China. He went out and figured out manufacturing and started importing wigs. Okay. Right? Out of college. Yeah. So that's what he went and did. Right. So he was second. His dad was first generation. He was second generation. And he had by the time I met him, he had a very, very successful business. And I'm young and I'm just picking his brain because he'll talk to me like anybody.
Right.
I mean, you're going to get more talking to somebody that's done stuff
Right.
than any education,
Absolutely.
right? So, and he told me, he goes, Jason, as far as college goes, I can't be my own accountant and doctor and lawyer and project manager. And I can't be all of these things, right? So in the position I'm in, I need to hire the best person with the degree I can, not try to be, because I can't do all of them.
Right.
I can't do all of them. So I just need to hire the best person I can that did go to get that degree in the position I'm in.
Yep.
And he said, he goes, I went to college, right? He told me he goes, I'm not knocking it and not saying nothing bad about it, but if that's what you're going to do for a living, you're going to go be an entrepreneur.
Right.
It can't hurt you, right? To have that, it ain't going to hurt you to have that degree and get that degree. But is it going to be the difference maker? And I think it just depends what you're going to do for a living, right? For me, I got a few things out of that, right? So I had a teacher there.
How about the kids? Are they doing it?
My kids?
Yes.
Jaden went to school for construction management at Iowa Western, and Jace is in the medical field. So he was a CNA in high school and worked at some nursing homes, put himself through CNA school and did all that while he was in high school, worked at nursing homes.
Right, I remember that.
Thank God there's people like this in the world that can do that. I could go shovel shit all day. I don't want to wipe it. But, thank God there are people that are, right? So he's in the medical field, and he went on to be an EMT, and he's working right now with CHI.
Is Jaden working with you guys then?
Jaden wants to start a coffee shop.
She's still on that?
She's still on the coffee shop thing, Nick. And hey, I mean, I would love for her to have one, right? Like, so what I told her, and Tina's on me about it too, right? I said, guys, I've done a lot of stuff with business, and I said I don't understand the math on that one. I figured out there's 3 business models. I dug into it hard, Nick.
I'm sure you have.
Because I'm like, okay, we're doing a coffee shop. That's what we're doing, right? Like,
This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing.
I can't figure out the math. The math don't make sense.
It's a no-go.
There's 3 business models on it, and here's Jason's perspective on coffee shops.
Okay.
There's 3 business models. One is you are a how do I want to go? I start at the top down. Let me start at the top down. You are a Starbucks or a Scooters.
Yep.
And you own the supply chain.
Okay.
Right. You own the roaster.
Okay.
You own the franchise. You sell franchise rights. You own some corporate stores, and you own the entire supply chain. Your sales franchises.
That's all the top.
You own the roaster, and you are selling the bean to your franchises.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
That's the top.
Okay.
The next one would be I'm going to create a franchise and I'm going to grow this market share. Oof. You don't own the roaster. So what everybody thinks is that, well, they sell coffee for $7 or $8 a cup, and there's a line. There's got to be money in it. Most of the money, in my perspective, in my research, ends up at the roaster. What they've done is they made the roasting so expensive, right?
Okay.
The beans come from outside the country mostly, right? They get shipped in. The roaster processes those beans. Well, your Starbucks and your Scooters and others, right? Those are the 2 that come to mind for me. And hopefully on our little podcast here, I'm not saying anything I'm not supposed to with them, because I'm not trying to talk bad about their business model, but I'm just telling you my perspective here. You create this franchise, you try to grow it, right? Mm-hmm. You're kind of cash flowing this thing and getting it by, not profiting. And then your hopes is a bigger one buys you.
Okay.
And then you cash out, you grow that market share. Or you keep that thing growing in your franchise and you're doing what they're doing, and with the aspiration of one day you buy a roaster, right?
Okay.
So I would say kind of what Scooters has done locally for us, right? Like, I mean, you look how big Scooters is that started here.
Right.
Nick, I mean, it's amazing what they've done.
Crazy.
So that would be one way to go up, but most of them would be like a Scooters buying or a Starbucks buying another franchise. They gain that market share at that point. So you grow that. And the third one would typically be this person that wants to have a coffee shop, and they're going to pay the most expensive price for beans and roasting, right? And every product on the shelf and every cup and the rent and everything, they don't have any negotiating power, right? There's no volume.
Right.
So if you can take that, and if you try to grow that to market share and then you get bought out, or you could go that way. So the conversation I had with Jane, I was like,
long road.
Here's your 3 options. Which one do you want to be, right?
And where'd you land at?
And she's like, I just want to have a coffee shop. I said, I understand you're this young and you just want to have a coffee shop, but where are you going? Because whatever you're doing, you got to run towards that goal. It might take a while to get there, but you need to be running towards a goal. So if your goal is just to have one coffee shop and not grow that thing, my advice would be for you to go work for somebody.
Right.
They will probably pay you very well to manage that coffee shop, right? And they're going to let them grow their business, because it's a different thing to grow.
You're talking about the lower. Go work for somebody at the lower level.
Any level. Okay. Pick one, right? if you want to manage something and run something really well, people will pay you very well to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to put your heart into it and you'll help them do that and you'll run that well and
Right.
you care about that, they don't have to think about that because you got that. They'll pay you very well to do it. So if that's what you want to do is just run a coffee shop, just go work for somebody.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's great. You know what I mean? You're going to be doing what you love and you don't have this other stress, you know?
I know what you mean.
You know, because well, I mean, at the
She
end of
wants
the
her
day,
own coffee shop,
everybody
though.
thinks being this business owner is this great thing. I mean, it is stress. I mean,
It is.
cash flow and assets are two different things, bud. You know, there's a lot of stress in that cash flow that you deal with. It. I mean, profitability is not necessarily
Right.
what everybody thinks it is. You know, it gets ate up with overhead
Absolutely.
constantly. You know, and every single year that clock's ticking on taxes. You don't get to save money in a business. You have to
Right.
spend it or pay taxes on it. That's
it.
it. There ain't no, oh, I'm going to hold it for next year. It doesn't
Right.
work that way. That clock is ticking. You know, every single day. So what I ended up with them is, guys, I don't understand the math on it and how you want to do it. If you want to do it, go do it. I'm like, Tina, you own a few businesses. You and Jaden go start a business. If you want to go do it, just leave me out of it. I was like, if you want me to come help you, listen, I'll come work there. I'll do what you want. I'll help any part you want. But I don't want to be part of helping manage, own, run something I don't understand.
Yes.
Right? If I can't understand it, I don't want to be involved in it.
You sound like a shark right now. Are you a shark? Like on Shark
I don't
Tank?
know. I don't
Those are that's their comment. I don't understand the business. I'm out.
Yeah. Because I'm not that smart.
Right.
I mean, really, I'm not.
In that direction.
No, I'm.
Now in this direction,
Yeah, I try to stick with what I can understand,
Right.
right. You know, like the old saying, if you ask a fish to climb a tree, he'll think he's a failure his whole life, right? So I'm just like, I'm gonna stick with what I do know. Like, I'm gonna give you another example. Stocks. You would think I'd have a ton of. I don't have any stock.
don't know nothing. Huh?
If I mean, I do got some stuff in like retirement plans where it's, you know, it's a group. It's not like an individual. The problem is if I'm not going to spend every day looking at, I feel like if I spent, and I was going to take my time and spend every day doing that, I could probably be good at it. If I focus I'm not going to do that. I got too much going on to watch that. I'm going to miss the highs and lows, and I'm not going to be good at that because I don't have the proper amount of time invested in it to do it good because I'm too busy doing other stuff.
Tell me what you're really good at.
What am I really
Sorry,
good at?
tough question. Where you get the most bang for your time, the most value for your time.
I don't know. Where do I get the most value for my time? Nick, I don't know. I haven't thought about that way.
It's
What
all.
would you say yours is? Like, where do you think yours is?
Let me tell you what yours is first, because it's easier to see it in somebody else than it is to see
Yeah.
it in yourself.
I guess I don't think about it that way.
Yeah. For me, it's what I see in you is your signature strength or your gift or what you're good at is turning an idea into a product, turning nothing into something that is scalable, manageable. You know, that's a bona fide something you can profitable. But it started as an idea.
Yeah, if I can't visualize it, that's,
a
I have to be able to
visionary,
visualize it.
yes.
If I can't vision it, like if I can't understand what I'm trying to do, I try not to get involved.
Because most of us are not visionaries, but we can manage something that somebody else creates or sees.
Correct. Yeah.
And we can help them turn it into, like, I'm a really good number two. So if you go to Bryan High School right now, my name's up on the record board. Basketball, Brian Bear basketball. Assist leader, Nick Prososki.
Yep.
I'm a really good assist guy. So I'm really good at setting other people up to score. I mean, I've created my own businesses and stuff too, but I'm not as good at that as I am in helping somebody score. When we play volleyball, I'm a really good setter. I'm not a killer. I can set the ball to people to put them in position to score and win. So I'm really good at assisting.
So I think the tricky part of that is the people part of that, is because no matter how good of a person you try to be, whatever, when you're doing business, there is math behind it at the end of the day.
Yes.
Right? So how do you come across and communicate to people to say, hey, listen, I need you to show up every day on time, do a good whatever, and tell them, hey, this has to go this way to be successful, right? Like the math of it,
Right.
Because you're talking to people that love what they do, they care about the place, they're trying to do a good job, they show up every day, but it's just a little bit different order of operations and how we're doing things.
Yes.
So can you clearly communicate that and get them to understand the picture of the direction where we're trying to go to make this thing successful, where it's sustainable, right? At the end of the day, because if it fails, we all fail, right? So I just got to keep the thing alive. Like it's my job to keep it alive.
Yes, and moving in
the proper direction. So if I don't, in my position, if I don't keep making this a better place to work, so like there's all these buckets you got to fill. You know, some of it's equipment needs money. Facilities need money.
Human resources
need money, right?
Yes.
Whether that benefits package is an insurance package or a paid time off package, or you pick one, right? Vacation time. I mean, it goes on and on, all the benefits, right? But also pay. Right?
Yes.
And then also, you know, like say a work-life balance, and that's different for different people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like different people operate differently, you know, and to be able to understand that and clearly communicate, like we don't want to be so strict in what we're doing that we got to be a little fluid, right? Like you don't want to be so firm that you're going to lose because of your, I mean, I don't, that, to me, that comes back to pride and ego, but you want to have systems in place, but you got to be a little flexible on them because you're working with human beings, right? So what motivates one person or what's good for one person, like, so I'll use salary, for example. I have some people that absolutely don't want to be on salary. They want to be hourly, absolutely no matter what. Right. That's how they feel. And it doesn't matter how I have the conversation, that's what they want to do. And I've had people tell me that were hourly to salary. When they went on salary, it cleared their mind. They didn't have to think about that. When they were on the clock, when they were off the clock, they went and did their job. So the same situation affects two people differently, right? So like if you heard the story of, you know, like, hey, this guy's a terrible drunk and this guy's completely sober and won't drink, and you ask them, hey, why are you such a bad drunk? And he's like, my dad was a drunk. And you ask this guy, why do you never drink? My dad was a drunk. Right. It's the same thing. How did they interpret that? The two brothers, you know? So working towards people, like to get the most, you know, working on their strength, you know, working towards their strengths and not their weaknesses, right? That's the thing. And that's where I'm like, I don't know how big of a business I'm personally designed to help run and manage, right? Because I want to be flexible like that, right? I want to work with, just like the customer service side. I want, you know, hey,
I mean,
I want
a lot of your employees are family members, and I'm sure some of them are friends. Yeah. And sure, some of them are boyfriends.
Them friends are, I mean, they might as well be family. Right. I mean, I am, and I tell these people, I'm like, we spend more time together with the people at work than we do with our families at home. We should be loving each other, right? And taking care of each other and trying to support each other and get better and take care of each other and take care of this place. And you can say that all you want. The reality is, I mean, work's tough every day, right? It's hard, you know? And we're going to have some things, like one of the things to manage, you know, is like, say, temperatures with concrete, right? Well, you got a bunch of guys that are gung-ho and they're strong and they're rolling to work. Well, when it's going to be 100 degrees outside, our management staff better have a plan, but let's get ahead of this thing to make sure whether it's enough Gatorade out there or pouring early or cutting it off, because what will inevitably happen is these same guys that are like, yeah, let's go, we can do it. All of a sudden it's 100 degrees and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and they've been going since 6 o'clock in the morning, and then they'll start fighting. Well, I mean, think about what they're doing for a living, you know? And I'm just like, we as management got to see this coming and get it under control. You know, because it's not that the guys hate each other or something, but I mean, it's 100 degrees out there. You're bending over pulling concrete. You know what I mean? And it's hard, and you're fighting it. It's hard. You know, so what do we got? We got to get ahead of that. And the guys want their hours, right? So they don't want to go home. They want all the overtime they can get. So you're like, hey, you got to balance out, like, guys, hey, you know what, you know, let's make this work, you know, and in communication to talk about that, like, hey, here's what's going to happen. We haven't been doing this 20 days. We've been doing this 20 years. We know what's coming. Right. I would rather hear the guys, God, why are we going home at noon? Well, we started at 5 a.m., you know, and it's going to be 100 degrees today. I would rather hear them be upset about that side than to have the altercations on the job. And it doesn't happen. I don't, you know, often. I don't want to make it like it's a big deal, but I mean, it's just life in reality. You're dealing with people, you know, and what they need and want. And, you know, some people, you get a variety. You get some people that are younger that don't have kids yet. You get some people that are just having kids and they got babies. You get some people with teenagers. You get some people with adult kids. You got some people that are kind of retirement age, like some of our truck drivers. They're kind of retirement age, but they don't want their kids are gone and they got grandkids. They got time. They're like, what else am I going to do? I can still work. I'm bored. I want to work, you know. And they want to work some hours. And some people, like sometimes some people, more time off is more valuable to them. And some people, the more money is valuable to them. So just trying to work with that and then still have a system that works with them. that's the thing. Just like every project we do, you know, if somebody's replacing siding or doing a new construction with siding, or, you know, if it's 4 stories tall versus you can reach it all at this height off the ground and you don't need a ladder versus scaffolding versus lifts, it's all just try to find a way to make it work, right, for the project. I mean, to me, it's all the same, whether it's the human side of it or whether it's the equipment side of it or the job site. You just try to find a way to make it work.
Right.
I mean, that's my goal every day, you know.
There's a lot that goes into it. I want to cover 2 areas, two more questions before we go. The first one is we had a signature, or Royalty had a signature project that they did. They recovered the CHI building downtown.
I seen you put something on there.
They put a roof on there. That's
cool, huh?
So that was one of their larger projects that they've done. What are some projects you got coming up that you're excited about for DPS or any of your other businesses?
Yeah. Coming up for next year, we have a project sold at Epley we'll be working on. So
nice.
We've done, so we bid that type of work, you know, and we get like their annual maintenance contracts.
So would that be like the runway, or would that be like outside?
So no, this is a private hangar in the back.
Okay.
We're doing work on there. Them storms got that hit last
Yes, with the tornado?
Yeah, was that this year? Whatever it was. That storm hit and there was all the cleanup, so they're rebuilding some hangars. So that's a pretty good sized project we got going, lined up for spring. We did a bid a project today. Today, it's actually, it's the bid's due tomorrow. We got the numbers on it today in Sarpy County. That's a pretty sizable project for next year. What else? Bunch of buildings, just normal building stuff, our normal property manager work. So we work with a lot of property management companies locally.
Which means what? A property management company would be like somebody that owns the industrial park, like what you're building, or is that like an apartment complex?
So variety.
That's what I see.
You got the
This is my next point, is the social media stuff, because I see your social media stuff is tailored towards, you keep saying property managers. What is a property manager?
So when you see, say, and I'll go over a few examples. Say a commercial strip mall, there'll be usually a sign there that says managed by whoever, right?
Okay.
So whoever owns that building.
CBRE or whatever.
Yeah, pick one of them. There's a lot of them, right?
Okay.
But yeah, there'll be a management company, and typically that property manager, they'll handle all the leases. So there's an owner that owns that building, or a business owner, or a business, whatever it is, owns the building, and then they'll hire the property management company to deal with the tenants. They do the leases, they collect the rent, they deal with the maintenance, they set the budget.
Like at our chiropractic office.
Correct.
So they're doing
That
the
strip mall,
cam fees, the triple nets.
100%.
Okay.
Yep. So that strip mall that you guys were in over there off of
120th.
120th there, that strip mall there, you leased a bay.
Yes.
But that whole strip mall is going to be managed by somebody that you probably pay the rent to.
Yes.
Right? But then they handle the snow removal, they handle lawn care, if the roof needs done, if the concrete needs done.
And they're cutting concrete every summer, they're cutting, replacing stuff.
Correct. Yep. So when you go into these things, it's like there'll be a budget. They set a budget every year for all the trades, right? Whether it's window cleaning or snow removal or roof maintenance, or, you know, however many pieces of sidewalk need replaced, whether the salt damages the joints or whether it heaves from the winter freeze thaw, whatever, you know, cracks, it busts, whatever. So there'll be a budget set for that every year. So we try to work with a lot of them. So that's, for us, that's tear out and replace work. So say it stops raining.
Yes.
Right? So it rains today. Well, tomorrow I can go start tearing that out and replacing it, versus our new construction gets delayed with the rain.
Okay.
So we like to have a balance of new construction work, repair work, replacement work, just for our scheduling to move around and fill in all of our holes and keep everything moving. So those property managers are good to work with. I like business to business sales, you know. There's business to business and business to consumer, and that's kind of what I was talking to you earlier about, like our salesmen versus our estimators.
Yes.
It's a different. There was a time when we were younger in business, we worked for 22 different new construction home builders at the same time. Oh, wow. And that was pure chaos. Oh my goodness. We ran around so much and tried to make that work with schedules. I mean, it was tough, right? And we still work for a few home builders, and we are still diversified. We still replace a lot of driveways,
you know, patios and sidewalks.
Yeah, we do that. Now, the problem is we're filling all them buckets, as we were talking about earlier, and we've been able to retain a lot of people, right, over the years, and everything's increased for us. Your overhead increases along with that. So that's pushed us to bid different type of work. So we're working a lot of places. I mean, it's not easy to work at a data center, right? To even get the opportunity to bid that, but let alone turn that into a job. Or some of these industrial plants, there's so many insurance requirements you got to go through, and safety protocols and training you got to do with your employees to be even eligible to bid it. So what's helped me, when you talk about like me, is every time if I want to retain these employees, I got to keep trying to create new opportunities where we can give raises every year,
Yes.
right? We can increase benefits. We can and try, and it doesn't happen overnight, but to be competitive. And I want to be a better business, right? I want to be able to pay more, right? I mean, I said it since I started. I said, if I could give everybody, I mean, I'm telling you, going back 20 years ago, I said, if I could give everybody $100,000 a year and a month paid vacation and fully paid health care and a brand new vehicle to drive and make my numbers work, I would love to.
Absolutely.
That'd be a great place to want to work, right?
Absolutely.
That would be great. I have to bid work to be competitive within the market, right? So I can't just, you know, if a contractor bids this concrete job at 10,000, I bid it at 20, we're not going to get it. We get zero. It ain't like you get a part, you get zero. They got 100% of the 10,000. So finding the efficiencies is key. As I tell everybody, I'm like, okay, so how do you be efficient? We have to be able to do a job first off, we have to be able to do an equivalent or better job than our competition that's bidding that for an equal or lesser dollar amount. And typically it's a lesser dollar amount. So I have to come in there and charge less money and do as good or better of a job.
Wow.
How do you do that?
Right.
You know, you're more efficient.
Yes.
So we're either going to be more efficient with materials, or we're going to be more efficient with labor.
Or you have more quantity, right? So that you get your product at a lesser.
So, okay, so more, what do you do there? That's your efficiencies.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an equipment you put down. So now if we're using laser screeds to put down concrete versus manpower striking it off, we can put more material down in the same amount of time with the same labor of guys, and they're not working as hard. They're fresh to go to the next job the next day. Well, that also requires an immense investment.
Right.
An immense investment into equipment, right?
Right.
That we've done slowly over the years. I mean, I regret not doing it sooner, as it turns out. But, you know, where we're at in business and cash flow, like when I bought that first laser screed, I had never even seen a laser screed run. But I was talking with one of my key guys, and I said, man, I don't know what we're going to do. We went through a spell there where we didn't get nobody young coming in. You know, usually you get them guys out of high school, and they'd come work for you for a season or two. It'd be for them or not them. And, you know, you'd retain one here that would stay, and then some would go. And then, you know, after they're there 5 or 6 years, they're a great guy. They're like a lead guy. They're fully developed and experienced and gone through everything and know what we're about, and they're planning on staying. We went through like 3 or 4 years where we didn't get nobody young coming in. I'm like, we're all getting younger. We're not getting more efficient, right?
Right.
Well, we've been doing this so many years. I'm like, we don't have a bunch of new ideas, right? We got to find a way to get more concrete on the ground, like with the same staff, because I don't have a bunch more staff coming in. So then I bought the laser screed, and we learned that. So we were able to get bid. So the projects you bid, because we would bid stuff, I'm like, God, on these bigger projects, we're not competitive on price. Like, what the heck? You know, why can't we? And then the question is, how can our competition? If they can do it, certainly there's a way to do it. I just don't know what it is.
Right.
Well, I bought those pieces of equipment, and then all of a sudden you can put so much material down in the same amount of time. Well, now that it creates a new problem. Well, how are you going to sell that many jobs, right? Because I mean, just because you
pay
can
for
put it
the
down,
equipment.
yeah, right. Because now I have to sell. So now I got to hire salesmen. Now that's a whole nother thing. Learning what that salesman position looks like, looking what that, you know, because we started doing residential, right? Like everything. So as we get into commercial and new construction, there's all things. And I didn't grow up working for companies that did all this type of stuff. We've learned it all as we go, right?
The hard way.
Things, if you've been in a big commercial outfit all your life, you know what all these trades or these positions are and what to expect out of each one. Well, we're kind of making it up as we go.
So do you have a mentor or a coach or a consultant, or are you just...
Oh, I think I got a lot of them, but I don't have like a paid mentor that I go to.
That's in your industry that is guiding.
You know, my buddy Scott I was telling you about, he was for the and still I love talking to him, you know. We just did a job for him a couple weeks ago. But I mean, I have a lot of mentors that don't even probably know they're mentors, right? Like they're
from
just
afar.
They're friends, right? Yeah. Like I pay attention. I try to talk to everybody and be a sponge and learn what I can, and I take, you know, apply what works in my life. So I try to take we'll have conversations. I'm learning, right?
That's
I'm learning.
exactly what this is about.
Like take what's good for me out of that, you know, and apply it. And so going back to Mike, there were some things he told me how business worked, and when he told me, and I listened, I'm like, I'll never be at a phase in life where that's relevant. You know what I mean? I'll never be that big in business. And all of a sudden that question came up years later. I knew the answer because somebody told me 15 years ago, and I paid attention, and I knew that. So if you just listen to people, most of the time they'll tell you the answer. You know, they'll just give you the advice so you can avoid making some of the mistakes. But you got to be willing to listen and be inquisitive and ask the questions.
Right. To be honest with you, this is one of the few podcasts that I've done where the guest actually is asking me questions while we're in the middle of the podcast. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Heck yeah. I'm still curious about that. I want to know more about that.
Okay.
I mean, I know, and I can ask you later.
Yep,
Whatever. I'm just curious about that. And again, I'm not like, hey, I'm trying to sell mine.
No.
I haven't had that experience, right?
Right.
So, I mean, one day I'm not going to live forever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And at some point,
Have conversations.
you'll be done here. I wasn't able to pass my business off to one of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to go to chiropractic school for 7 years. They didn't want to do all that. They didn't want to bend over all day. They didn't have the passion for the philosophy of health and wellness and well-being
Mm-hmm.
like I did. So I didn't have the liberty of just passing it off to one of our kids. So I had to get creative.
And so for me with my kids, I told them from the time they were young, I'm like, hey, this was our dream, me and your mom's. Like, this is what we wanted to do, and we did it. If you're interested in it, it's a wonderful opportunity for you. You're going to hit the ground running and get all. But if you're not, you should go do whatever you want to do with your life. This wasn't your dream; it was ours, right? And we're doing it, and we love it, and it's afforded us a very nice life. Like our lifestyle, we enjoy it. It wouldn't be for everybody. Like most people might hate our lifestyle.
Right.
Think when your phone's ringing from 4:30 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night for work calls, and you're answering them. My phone's going off 15 times while we're sitting here. It's buzz, buzz, buzz.
Yep.
That ain't for everybody, right?
Right.
I love it, right? So I told my kids, I'm like, do what you want to do with your life, right? Just whatever you want to do, go try to be the best you can at whatever you're going to do and find what makes you happy in life. But again, if you want to be a part of this, great. If you don't, great. I'm going to support you either way, but I'm not going to try to push them into it because I think you can't force an entrepreneur. You can't make, I don't think you can put that in somebody, and I don't think you can take it out of them, right?
Oh, snap. So the spirit of an entrepreneur, you can't pound that into somebody, but once it's in them, if it's in them, you can't get it out of them.
And I'd say
That's
once it's in them, I
powerful.
think it's either in them or it's not. You can't.
You don't develop it.
You do that or you don't, right? I think you do develop it. Like you develop the skill.
You grow
It's
it.
almost genetic, right? Like you were either wired to be that way
Yeah.
or you're not wired to be that way. And I think a lot
Was
of
your
people.
dad that way?
No.
Where did yours come from? Where did
I don't have any idea. I'm weird, man. I don't know.
Okay, just a freak.
No, yeah, weird. My mom had a union job, and and my dad also had a union job.
Okay.
And I am not.
Hey.
And same thing there. I think the unions are wonderful and great for a lot of people, right? It's a great thing. I got some cousins that are union electricians, and they have a wonderful life for what they're doing. And we've been blessed that we're in this era, especially them, the era of data centers going in and being electricians. My one cousin told me when he started that and he went union, this guy told me, you came in at the perfect time. He goes, we've had these years, we've had 7 minutes. He goes, with these data centers coming, you're going to go your entire career and never have to sit as long as these things take to build. And I'm thinking, well, nothing takes that long to build. Yeah, literally, they're going to get their whole career and make really good money.
Wow.
And they're and it's a wonderful, and they don't have any formal education, right? And they make a great living, and they got great benefits and great retirement. Wonderful, right?
Right.
That's a perfect fit for them. That's not a great fit for me. That's not how I'm wired, right? And I got nothing against them, right? Great, and that's where I'm like, everybody should really work on making themselves better and competing against themselves for what they want to be every day, and not worry about others, right? Like what others are doing. You just got to go be the best version of yourself you can be. And I've seen so many people, and as I've gone in business, it's strange. I've seen people see what specifically I'm doing and then go try to do that, and it doesn't work. I'm
Like they worked for you and then they go try to do it themselves?
Well, I've seen that, and we've had some people very successfully do that. We've developed, as a part of our system, we have developed some very successful entrepreneurs out of our system, and I'm so proud of it, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a super good success story. The entrepreneurs we developed out of our internal system is amazing. But no, just like friends that'll see what you're doing. And again, I probably do make it sound easy, right?
Right.
I make it sound super, you just do this, you do that, you do. Well, that's a whole nother thing to go actually do that, right?
Yep.
And want to do that. It's not clocking in and clocking out and going home and you're off the clock. I'm never off.
No.
I am never. I don't care if I'm on vacation somewhere. I don't care if my kid's in the hospital and I'm there. I'm never off.
Right.
And I'm cool with that, right? I enjoy that. That's
she's good with it too.
Yeah, she's that as well.
Right.
Tina is that. You know what I mean? It ain't like Tina's this housewife, right? She is that also, right?
Right.
So blessed we started when we did. So she gets it, and we grew that thing from nothing to something. But also, Nick, every single every single day, I'm like, I don't know if I'm the smartest person on earth or the stupidest person on earth or somewhere in between. I'm just like,
mix,
I don't know, man. Like, what are you doing?
Doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
And I enjoy it.
Right.
I enjoy it. And so I feel like if you can be healthy and happy and safe, you're good. Like that. So like I pray every day for my kids for those three things. I want them to be healthy, happy, and safe. Nothing else. Like that.
Healthy, happy, and safe.
Because if you're healthy and you're happy and safe, you're good, Nick. It doesn't matter how much money you got, how little money you got, how many hours you work, you don't work. And then that's kind of contagious around you. Like if you're healthy, happy, and safe, you're that to other people,
Absolutely.
right? And
you
can
attract.
you attract that, right? And you
well,
put
you
that
can't
into other
give.
people.
You can only give what is in you. You can't give something. You can't sell what you don't own, and you can't give what you don't have. If you have peace and joy, what is it? Healthy, happy, and you're safe.
You're good.
You're good. That's what comes out. That's what you exude. That's what comes out of your cup when you're overflowing with that. I wanted to go into some other topics, but I don't think we need to. I think we finished with that.
Okay.
This was powerful.
That's fun.